Welcome. My name is Delaney and I'm going to be doing a video today on making samples. So the first thing I want to tell you is we all know that the most important part of our business is putting posh on people. And the easiest way to do that is sampling. And so when we sample, there are a few options you have. You can order some of the select few portal samples in the Posh portal. Another way is you can make them yourself. I like to make them myself, so I'm going to show you all about how I do it, what I use, where to get it. The first disclaimer I want to say though, samples don't have to be Pinterest worthy, okay? They don't have to be fancy. They don't have to cost you an arm and a leg. They just have to work. So when you're doing samples, I'm going to show you labels. I'm going to show you lots of tubes and containers and heat seal package. Don't have to get it all. You pick one. Pick some, pick one. I've been in the Posh business now for a year. Yay! Today's my 1-year Posh anniversary. So I've been doing samples for a year. And I have lots of things that I have tried over the year. So I have a lot of things to do that. Don't go into debt to make samples, okay? It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It does not have to be Pinterest worthy. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing when you're making samples is you're going to need some kind of container or pouch to put them in. So on Amazon, I got these. They come in a box, I believe it's 100 or 200. They were pretty expensive. I'll pop the price up here. Everything I talk about today will be in the description box below. I will put everything in a link to the Amazon place where I got it or the website where I got it. If you can hear noise, I'm sorry. My kids are running around. It is Sunday when I'm filming, so we're all home and crazy town. All right, so these are Amazon. These are containers. All right, so these are plastic containers. These are, I don't know if you can see that. They are about, I think, 1 in, kids are crazy, y'all. 1 in 10 or 1 in 20. And that's what these are. They're a tiny bit deeper than a normal Lacon, so that's kind of helpful. I bought these because they were a better price than the Lacons. Now, for longevity, I am not sure if the product won't dry out. So this is really going to be better for short-term storage. I wouldn't make a gazillion samples and put these on it. I don't feel like they have an airtight seal. But for a quick spa box or a quick send a sample, I've used these in my spa nights and I've given them to hosts and I make them a week in advance and I've never had any issues. They don't leak. I would not do serums. I would stick with washes, moisturizers, body butters, things that have a thick consistency. I would stick with things that have a thicker consistency and not a watery consistency because it might leak out. All right, so there are these. The next thing are our tried and true Lacons. I did get these from Amazon. These are the normal Lacons. They snap closed. These are very thin and better. Not your best bet, but they're better for mailing if you need to mail a bunch because they are airtight and they are going to keep your product from leaking or doing anything crazy. So here is a regular Lacon. There are many places to get Lacons. You can get them from Amazon. There's like a container family. Watch your shipping though and make sure you're looking at the price per container. Again, don't go into debt to make samples. So do whatever is better for you. Okay, another option for making samples is heat seal packs. Now, heat seal packs are extremely cost effective. They are very inexpensive. They come in many colors and sizes. They're very versatile. So they have a tabbed top where their customer would rip it open and then you fill it from the bottom. Posh has their own that you can order from the Posh portal. They have green and I think somewhere I have pink and somewhere I have some frost yourself ones. So you can order them with the Posh logo. They are a little more pricey, but you don't need to. So I just wanted to show you your options. So another sample bag you can use are these brown paper Mylar bags. They have a window in them where you can see the product through them. You again fill them from the top on this particular brand, and then they are resealable. So you can, once your customer rips it off, they can reseal it. So if you give them, say, some Nosh products, or you want to give them several uses of a certain product, you can use this. This would be good for pieces of a bath bomb. This would also be good for any chunks that you might have, chunks or soapies. So we've gotten taken care of all the pouches. I want to talk to you a little bit more about some fun containers you can use. Now remember, these are all optional. They're all versatile, so you can do whatever you want with them. Something that I like to sample my serums and my CBD oil is in these little vials. They come in a bag from Amazon, and they come with a pipette that you can use to fill them up. I usually don't need to because the Fancy Plans serum and the CBD oil come with their own, so I just literally squeeze it in there. You can just give a one good squirt. It comes with its own little thing. Suck it up, and then they have their cute little vial. So this is not a good option when you're shipping. These will be pricey to ship. So keep that in mind, that the next several things I'm showing you are not good options when you're trying to ship, unless you're already sending a box, because they don't fit nicely in an envelope. So remember, you don't want to go into debt to make some. These containers, I use them for skin sticks mostly. They are from a soap company. They are not extremely expensive. They are kind of time consuming. I would not give these to just everyone. I would make these be a deluxe sample or something cute. So they come like this. They do come with a package, a heat shrink package that you slide it in there, use a blow dryer, shrink it up, and then I put like just a round label and then my information on the back. So those are super cute. They are a little time consuming, but they do stay good for a while. So these are little skin sticks. Another thing that I have are these little vials. These are from Amazon. They have a plastic cap that goes on them. I use these when we sampled out our bath salts, when we had Mad for Lav and the other bath salt we had. I use these for deluxe samples. This is more for like a foot soak. These are not obviously going to go in a bath, but they can smell them. You can also crush up a bath bomb and put a little bit of it in here. So these are definitely a splurge. You don't need these. You can put any of those products in another one, but I thought they were cute. These tubes of lotion, these are definitely a deluxe sample. Do not give these to everyone. That you can, one hand cream makes about 10 of these, which makes them about $1 a piece of product. Another trick is you don't have to fill them all the way up. Take it up and your product will will look a little more full than it is. Again, you don't have to be fancy. Here's a Show Me Your Mermaid one. And I give these away to like hosts or as a gift or something, but they are cute. Another thing that I did with these was we have our Into Deep hair mask, and then we have our Serves You Right shampoo. And so I had customers order one of each. I had one customer order one and one customer order the other. And so to upsell or to get them to try a complementing product, I gave them a deluxe sample of the hair mask or the shampoo. And since your head, I gave them enough to really try the product. So that's an option for the, you can use them for hair care, body wash. You can use them for deluxe samples of hand creams. If we have a body cream, you can use it for that. So these are very versatile again. If you want to give away something, you can give away a deluxe set of face washes. So you can put a face wash and a moisturizer, and that'll give them like 4 or 5 good uses out of it, because, you know, our products are only a little. So that's another good option for those. So now that I've talked about all the containers, I want to talk about some additional supplies that you could use to help you with sample making. Okay, so one thing that you're going to want are some kind of product bag. I got these at Target. They come with this. I like to fold them over, and then I just put like a sticker on them or something. I also have these bags. These came from the Dollar Tree. I love when I'm doing samples. You see, this was for a spa day. I didn't really mail this, but you put 3, and then it has a few. You fold it over where you need it, and you can either tape it back here, or you can put a thank you sticker or something, but they're super cute and clear. I tend to like the clear things whenever I'm sampling, because you can see quickly what's in it. Another thing that you're going to want are a bag of some kind. I have these bags that I like to use to put Soapies in. I'm going to start using these. Before I got these, I put Soapies and chunks in this. They're just plastic bags. They're jewelry bags. You can get them at Walmart, Michael's, Amazon, I'm sure has them. Very inexpensive, and they keep things. It's recommended when you ship samples that you stick your sample down in there, just in case it gets mushed. Product doesn't go everywhere. So those are another one. I like to use baggies, just regular sample bags. Sometimes these are from the Dollar Tree, a box of 38 for $1. I like to put like groupings of samples. So I'm fixing to do a party where I have to ship a host. She's in like New York or something. I have to ship her a set of samples. So I'm going to put all my hand creams in here, and I'm going to label it hand creams, use on Monday. And then I'm going to put all her face stuff, and I'm going to say face routine, use on Tuesday. I'm just going to handwrite it, stick a card down in there. So these are very versatile, very inexpensive, and very important also for sample making. Okay, so we got bags, we got containers. Now let's talk about how in the world you're going to fill this stuff up. So when you're filling sample pouches, Mylar bags, tubes, anything, you're going to want to get you one of these. This is just a big marinade injector. You can get a medicine syringe if you have kiddos. I got this at my local grocery store in the dollar aisle. It is only $1. This part twists off. They're easy to wash. So that's another good option for you to fill. So there are these. They have a lot of different ones. I have this one. I was making samples a while ago. This one's pretty dirty. Also one, same kind of concept. They wash really well. You are going to need some kind of scoop. I got these spatulas from Amazon. Again, super inexpensive. I'll link everything below. I use these when I want to get a tube of something. So here is like a sample. You take a chunk, and then you can take your Lacon, wipe it in there, close it up, and then it's more sanitary because you haven't touched the product, and then I throw it away. I also like to give a fresh one of these when I sample something like that so they can scoop it out themselves. Your choice. You don't have to. All right, another thing that you're going to want whenever you are when you're making samples is some kind of, if you're going to use the Mylar bags, you're going to need something to seal them with. So you have 2 options. You can use a simple hair straightener. That's it. Use a hair straightener. You got an old one laying around, it works just fine. Turn it on low and it works. Okay. Another option is this nifty little heat seal gadget. It's called a mini food bag heat sealer. I think it was under $10. Again, you don't have to have it. A simple straightener works. And the thing I like about it is it has the ridged. So I made this sample with it. It has this, and it kind of makes it crimped. You plug it into the wall, and it just off and on switch, heat seal it, and go. And then it comes in this little box, and it helps me when I'm storing stuff. The other thing you're going to need is, if you do these, you're going to need some kind of a hair dryer. I have a regular hair dryer. I just use an old one I have. And you're not touching any products, so you're not ruining your hair products. So just shrink them up with that and it's ready to go. Now let's talk about labeling containers. So to label containers, you're going to need something. I like to use these Avery labels. These are white. I'll link everything below. These are return address labels. These go good for labeling the vials. They're good for labeling the skin stick tubes. They're good for labeling the lotion tubes. Product I like are these square labels. These are 1.5 by 1.5. These are for the smaller Mylar bags. So I print them and stick them on the Mylar bags. Let me find one. So here is Complexion Perfection that I've done. I've sealed it at the bottom and I've stuck a label. So even when they peel this part off, they still have what's on the bottom. So that's what I use those square labels for. They would go perfect on the front or on the back of these paper labels as well. Another one that I use is these are 2 by 2, so these are a little bit bigger. I like to put these on these as well. It just depends on what I'm labeling or what I had available. Sometimes Amazon is fun and you don't get what you want. The other thing that I do use are the round removable ID labels. These are what I put on Lacons. These are the 1-inch ones. These fit perfectly on Lacons. They fit perfectly on these. You will see them used on a lot of my products. What I put on this is what that is. So, and the best part about using Avery products, and I've tried to use the off-brand, I can't get them to line up. But when you use Avery products, they have an Avery design studio thing online that's free. And you type in the name of your label, wherever it is, the name of your label, and you're able to create labels. You can pull the graphics off of Glamstar, you can pull the graphics off of the Posh VO, and then, or you can create your own, and they line up perfectly on whatever label you're using. So that's kind of why I stick with Avery. Also, I can share all of my labels with you. So if you're using this exact one, I can save it as a PDF and I can share it with you so we can do the same thing. Or another option is to print the ones that just have this product as a sample of, very generic. So I have one of these. And I just keep all my labels in there that I have. I don't have all of them. I tend to make them as I go, but if I don't use them all, see, here's some from when I was doing face stuff. But I don't use them all, so I just put them in here so I have them. You never know when you're going to make a quick sample. Even though we don't have Makeup Magic anymore, I have it in my personal stock, and sometimes I'm doing like a giveaway and I want to give them a lip scrub, so I stick it in there because you know our products kind of ebb and flow and they cycle. So just Posh sample of, and you handwrite them on there. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to get your point across. Very easy, very quick. Perfect. So now that we talked about what containers you need, we've talked about the supplies you need to fill those containers and the products you will need to label those containers, we're going to move on to actually filling the containers. All right, so let's talk about how we're actually going to fill this up. Let's get started. Okay, Sassiuma Body Scrub. The best way, I think, to sample this is either in a Mylar bag or sample tube. See? Kind of cute. So the best way to do that is to use one of these marinade things. So I'm going to take off the back. This is the best way I found to do it. I'm going to take off the back. I'm going to simply squeeze a little bit of product in there. That's probably enough. I just kind of squeezed that much in there. I'm going to put it back in. You're going to have some back pressure, so I just kind of usually turn it up and push it down just a tiny bit, just so it's in there. And you'll see. Take off the lid. Make sure that's secure. You're going to put the pointy in there, and I always invert it. There we go. Some of the air's coming out. All right, that's better. Okay, so I just squeeze it down in there until it's gone. Pull it out. And then the best thing for you to do to make it look super full, because it doesn't look too full, is I squeeze some of the air out and I put the lid. There you go. Isn't that cute? This is a Sassy Yuma scrub, so I have a Sassy Yuma sticker that I already had pre-printed. I stick it on there, and it's done. Sassy Yuma. I think I'm going to put a little bit more in there, actually. That's plenty. Okay. It's ready to go. It works really easy when you're doing a lot of them because you can just fill the whole thing up. And the next thing I'm going to sample out is going to be a Mylar bag. I have two options. You can fill a tube with it and squirt it down in there, or you can pinch, prop it open, and squeeze in the tube. And see, I kind of hold it open, and then I am going to give her enough product to use a couple times. Kind of see how it went in there. I'm going to unpinch it, and I'm going to set it like that on my table and try to get some of that product to sink down in the top. And the goal is to get anything that is on the rim of this pack pouch out. So I kind of usually take a towel and I wipe it up. And that way when I go to seal it, it gets a good seal. So you're going to pinch it closed, use your straightener, or I'm going to use this. You're going to hear it. I just kind of push down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pull it right off. And it is sealed. So there's your seal. It is sealed. It is hot, but I always kind of squeeze it a second and make sure that it created a good seal. It did. And this is Complexion Perfection. There's my label. I'm going to stick that on the front. And because this is a brand new host, she has never ever tried Posh. Exciting, right? I'm going to put a sticker that says face wash on the back. I will sample in a Mylar bag for her. So I'm going to get a Mylar. I'm going to get a Mylar. I'm going to rub it between my fingers. It opens. I put my finger in it. Pull. I'm going to open the product. And I am going to squeeze some product down in there. It kind of went there, so I'm going to bounce it like I did on the other side. Kind of bounce it on the table. That helps kind of drop the product in there. And you can kind of wiggle it. Remember, the goal is to try to get as little of the product out of the rim so that you can you can create a good seal. So I'm going to kind of push it down a little bit. Maybe take a tiny bit of product out. I'm going to close it. I did get a little product on the rim, so you are going to hear a sizzle when I close it. That's okay. Squeezing it. And there it goes. You can see how there's a little bit of gunk of the product. I usually just get my rag and I wipe that off while it's warm. And then I want to make sure that it's sealed correctly, so I do kind of mash it. It is sealed correctly. No big deal. Don't needle me. Mask. And then I will stick it right on there. See? Not Pinterest worthy, but it still gets the job done. All right, I'm going to sample Fancy Plants. I'm going to use this little vial. I'm going to open the vial. I squeeze this up, get a whole squeeze of it. Take it in your vial and simply squeeze it in. I'm going to give her 2 pumps. I would like for her to be able to use this a couple times. That's 2 squeezes of Fancy Plants. If it's not a host and you had a request, you can just give them 1 little squeeze. You twist it. I always squeeze it once. There is your vial full of Fancy Plants. This was the feature of the week product, so I had already made kind of a sheet full of Fancy Plants. These are just the Avery return address labels. So I'm going to take 1. I'm going to take the vial. I'm going to wrap it around. And I am done. I have learned, though, that with these amber vials, you need to kind of wrap a piece of Scotch tape around it to help the label stick. I don't know what it is about them. It might just be that from the oils from your fingers. So I usually take a piece of Scotch tape, I wrap it around, and then I just kind of fold it down. Like I said, not Pinterest worthy, but it works. There it goes. Cute little fancy plant vial. Can I Be Meltdown? She requested this as her moisturizing part of her shave, ultimate shave kit. So I'm going to go ahead and use this brown paper bag. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to give her a little bit extra so that she can really rub it on both legs. But if she doesn't want to, then she doesn't have to. So I've just opened it at the top. I'm going to open my product. I'm just going to pinch. It makes a nice wide pouch. Done. So Meltdown in there. There's a little bit of product that got right there. Take my cloth, my little thing. I'm just going to kind of wipe it out. I really want a good seal. And inside of this, just so you know, inside of this is lined with a plastic. So it's not going to seep through the brown. So I'm going to take I'm going to seal it for a few seconds. Off. That's pretty. I'm going to go ahead and seal it a little bit better. All right. There's that. Look how pretty that looks. That looks so professional. Thanks, Sarah, for sharing. That looks so professional. I'm going to use a plain sheet label, and I'm going to write on there, Can I Be Meltdown? I just wrote it with my fun handwriting. And I'm going to stick it right on top. Can I Be Meltdown? All right. So now I'm going to sample the Purifier Skin Stick. This is a full-sized product, and I'm going to sample it out in a small mini. Let's get started. So I'm going to open my skin stick up. This, I always kind of turn it up a tad so I can get some product. Open my lid. So the trick to this is you don't want to give them a ton of product because then they'll never come buy more from you. So you're going to turn this up. I always turn it up all the way, and then I kind of turn it down a couple of ticks because I don't want to give them a full one because then they never will come back to you. So what I do is I just take it and I push down and scrape. Again, I go away to the side, I push down and scrape. Push down and scrape, push down and scrape. Okay, so I've put some in there, kind of make it level again. If I have a little bit, I kind of push down and scrape. Now, I get one of these. We talked about these things are just, and I go around the edge. I want to try my best not to touch the product with my hands. I want it to be as sanitary as possible. So I kind of do that. I smoothed it down. This goes in the trash. Put my lid on it. Make sure it clicks. I've already written the Purifier Skin Stick just on a plain little label. Not fancy, but hey, it's done. The trick with this, though, is you're going to want to wipe it with either a bleach wipe or something to get all that sticky skin. I'm just going to wipe it with a rag because you're going to put it on there. You're going to try to label it at the bottom the best you can. So, there you go. Purifier Skin Stick. These actually come with a shrink wrap to go on them. It's perforated so that your client can tear it off themselves. The trick with these is I take a pen or even I take one of these and I try to open it. It's a little tricky. You just have to really mess with it. But once you get it, it won't be so bad. Okay, so see, I was able to get it. Twist this. And see how it kind of helps you open it. Once you open it once, it's kind of easy. It does take some practice, to be honest. I will tell you that once you're getting going and you've done more than one, I haven't done any of these since the summer. So I get it. I'm going to kind of open it like this. Kind of put my finger through it to really loosen it up. Be gentle so you don't break it. But I kind of use my finger to help me open that up. Then it's completely round. It slides right in. I'm going to use my hair dryer, and do you see how it's that way? I'm going to use my hair dryer and we're going to shrink it up. So here's my hair dryer. Just like that. It's all shrinky dinky and ready to go. All right, the next thing I want to sample for you is a Lacon. Here's your Lacon. It's closed. They have a click. The Hold Me primer, and so I'm going to use a Lacon because she doesn't need very much of this product to sample it, okay? So really, super easy. All you do, pump. I'm going to give her, I did a get ready with me, and I only used 1 pump, and I'm going to go ahead and give her 2, just because some product gets left. Then I'm going to close it and stick it on. Done. Alright, the next thing I'm going to sample is going to be our Well-Adjusted Toner. So I'm going to take a cotton ball, I'm going to kind of open it up a little bit so it has 2 pieces. And I'm going to use a brown paper bag. I'm going to open it up. Drop these little cotton balls down in there. And I'm going to take my Well-Adjusted, shake, shake, shake. Make sure I'm going to give her a little squirt of it, and I'm going to close it, and then I'm just going to massage the cotton balls down in all that product so that it gets nice and saturated. Then now that that's saturated, I'm going to seal her up. Alright, look at that. Beautiful! I have a sticker that says Well-Adjusted. I'm going to smack it on the front. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is how to sample out your Snarkies or your Soapies. So Soapies are made of shea butter, so you can just cut them without warming them up. So don't warm them up because they will melt everywhere. So for your Soapies, you're going to get a cutting board and you're going to lay it down. Here is a Snarky, but it'll work for the reference. You're going to lay it down, and you're going to use either a clean knife or a vegetable cutter. I'll link one in the description box. And you're just going to slice little slices. So there are many trains of thought. I do both. You can give them a chunk. This is actually a chatter chunk. This is the NP, so it's really big. I'd use this as a deluxe sample. Here's a chatter. You can do it that way. Here is a Mad for Lav. I've cut it fairly small. So here's another one. Or I did this with the Jam Zesh to make it go further. I just gave them a half of one of these. You put it in a bag, or you can slide it in one of these. Super easy. For your Snarky bars, they are very hard. Your Snarky bars and your chunks will need to be microwaved before you can cut them, or they will shred into a million pieces. So you're going to put it in the microwave. I would do 10-second bursts until it's warm to the touch, and then you're going to try to cut it. When you try to go through it with that knife, if it doesn't go through, then you need to warm it again in another 10-second burst. Take your time, go slow. That's how you get pretty cuts, and then you're good to go. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to sample out is going to be Beautiful. This is one of our hand creams. It is the feature of the week for the week that I'm filming this, so I'm going to make several samples and I'm going to show you how I do it. You can do the same for every hand cream that you have. This is, in my opinion, the fastest way to do it. So I'm going to take off the end, open it up. Okay. Going to take it like this, fill her up. I'm going to do several samples, so I'm just going to kind of do it until this runs out. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Okay, got it. Kind of tap it down. Be careful, this is very sharp. I'm going to use just some plain little Mylar bags. Remember, you twist. Put the down in there. And then I just kind of, the first one's the hardest because there's air in there. Once the air gets out, it's not such a big deal. So I'm just going to, there we go, rub it with your finger, stick it in there, kind of give them a little bit. Done. In, twist, down, done. I'm just going to take it back, put it back in, squeeze my product. There we go. Clean. Well, I was able to get quite a few out of that. Let's go ahead and go through with our sealer. I was able to get all of these 8 different packages of beautiful samples super fast. See, so when you're going in that way, it's super fast. All right, thank you guys for coming and watching this video to see how to make samples. Again, I will link everything below in that description box, all the materials and resources that I used for this tutorial video. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, leave a comment in the comment box, ask your team leader. Sorry, you can hear my kids. Welcome to Passion at Home. And thank you for watching again. Girls, I'm filming! Struggle bus. And just and go. And I think I spelled it wrong. This is the full price.
5 hours later.
I had to smell it. I don't know what it is. It smells so good. Swirl to that. Okay, make sure I was clean. Again, I will link everything down below in that description box that it's brand new, so it's got a label, a little. I'm just gonna stab it. Okay. Whoops. Sometimes cute is the way to be. Let me grab Fancy Plants. It's gonna take take a rag. Let's be sanitary.